Drama at Chess Candidates 2026. We know that everyone loves drama, so let's dive into it. There are two very important things going on right now in the chess world. First, 20-year-old Sindarov from Uzbekistan, the dark horse of FIDE Candidates 2026, is crushing the whole event. He is 5.5 out of 6. Incredible result, stunning everyone by stunning victories against Pragnananda, Fabi, Hikaru, and now Wei Yi with the black pieces. Can you believe this? And we are going to see the reactions of the chess world to it, especially Garry Kasparov, what he said about Sindarov's performance. But more dramatic things are going on also. Hikaru Nakamura blaming his seconds and world of chess reaction to it, and Hans Niemann jumping on into this matter. First, let's see what's going on at the FIDE Candidates 2026. 5.5. 1.5 margin from Fabiano Caruana, 2.5 margin from the third and fourth spot. So can anyone catch him? Just please write down in the comments. And you know, Javokhir is now number 5 in the world. 2770, gaining 25 ratings. That's incredible. At FIDE Candidates, he's farming ratings. Some people are saying that Sindarov is farming rating at FIDE Candidates. And let's see what Kasparov said about this. Kasparov said, incredible results so far. It's before round 6, before beating Wei Yi. Do not underestimate the boost that confidence plays after a strong start. So this confidence that he got from this start, you trust your instincts more, a positive cycle of intuition and performance. Meanwhile, your opponent doubt themselves against you. Kasparov experienced this so much in his life because he was leading the events by a lot of margin. But you know, Kasparov doesn't buy this tournament so much. It doesn't matter for him. Before this tournament, they asked Kasparov, whom do you think will win and face Gukesh?
Who do you think will be the next challenger for Gukesh?
The next challenger?
It's actually, with all due respect, I don't think it matters.
And this is the way Kasparov reacts to it. He says, with all due respect, I think it doesn't matter. So for Kasparov, it's the way that he puts it. He doesn't hide it.
I'm not trying to undermine Gukesh or Dean.
He's trying not to be disrespectful to Gukesh or Dean, the previous world champions.
But for me, the history of the Classical World Championship is over.
The history of Classical World Championship is over. By Magnus Carlsen, of course.
It was Magnus.
Magnus.
I'm very old-fashioned for this.
Yes.
For me, the world champion was the best player in the world.
So he says, I'm very old-fashioned and traditional. The best player in the world should be the number 1. We know that now, as you can see, Magnus is 2840, number 1, and Gukesh is number 15 in the world. So do you consider him as the world champion? And as I was looking at this list, I just noticed that Ding is not there. Ding is not in 2700s. I don't know why. Is he inactive? Is it because of that? Because after that very unfortunate result at the last World Championship against Gukesh, he didn't play, I guess, any tournaments. And is it because he's inactive or he calmed down to less than 2700? If you find out, just let me know in the comments. So,
and if he's not, then it's a title. No, just no.
We can call it a FIDE title. You know that there was a time that something like this exists because Kasparov had a fight with FIDE, Karpov, and these kind of things, and FIDE said Karpov was winning the FIDE events and Kasparov was winning the traditional world championship won by face-to-face matches. So now we can call it also FIDE.
Don't attempt to undermine what Gukesh did at such a young age, but...
Yeah, he's not trying to undermine Gukesh, but it's what Kasparov said. Do you consider it as a world championship match or not? So this is the first thing going on. Very incredible result by Sindarov, and Kasparov take on the whole event and Sindarov's performance. But more dramatic thing going on between Hikaru Nakamura and his seconds, and Hans Niemann also jumping onto it. We know that Hikaru spent 67 minutes at his game against Javokhir Sindarov, and he made a very bad move. He still didn't broke the record because Grishuk has the 72-minute record in 2021 against Wang Hao at the FIDE Candidates. And Hikaru was saying the blame is for my team 100%. On his stream he said it because they didn't put the move. Let me show you the position. We can see it probably here in Twitter. We know that Sindarov reached to 4.5 out of 5. This is the position that Hikaru played h4, and he should have played knight d4, but he said I didn't have this position in my analysis. This is the game between Hikaru and Sindarov. That Sindarov in this position castled, and this move was new for Hikaru, and Sindarov played it, and he should have responded to this by knight d4, but he spent the 67 minutes and then played h4, which is a bad move. Sindarov's reaction to this move was I could not understand it because he said it was strange for me, something like this, because in all lines the knight on e4 is better, and I don't know what white achieves with h4. He says something like this, and it's true, of course. We know that in the game Hikaru just got crushed in that game. I also recorded a video. I will put the links in the description. You can go and watch it. And now Hikaru saying, because I didn't have this analysis, now this is why I lost this game. This position is so complicated and everything that you cannot play it, that you cannot find the best moves over the board. And Volchess saying, okay, you're putting the blame into your second, and it's so complicated that you cannot play it without having prep over the board. And Volchess criticizing him very harshly, saying that, okay, you're just putting the blame on your seconds, and this is not the right thing to do, and probably you have the responsibility. Here we can see.
Mad at myself, I'll tell you guys that much. Well, this game at least I can't be mad at myself, I'll tell you guys.
So he says that I cannot be mad at myself.
That's the good news.
That's the good news that we can see. And why he's saying that?
100% on the people who are working for me.
100% on the people who are working for me. So his seconds.
Pilot didn't have to move castles, and honestly, castles.
You know that at top level you have files. You need to know all of your files. What are you going to play against this opponent at this position? So this is what's going on. I don't know if it's a sad part of chess or whatever, but even at lower levels, even at more than 2000 level, you need to have lots of prep at every single position. And it's very hard to play without prep against good chess players, against top chess players. It's very difficult.
This is I mean, I guess it's technically a novelty, but it's such a human move.
He says it's a novelty, but it's such a human move. So novelty is the move that you just occurs for the first time over the board. So Javokhir literally played a novelty. But when the novelty is also said by Stackfish, I don't know if you're going to call it a novelty. A novelty for me is a move that nobody expected. So you find a move like, for example, it's number 5 by Stackfish, number 4 by Stackfish, but you find very interesting ideas there, and you're going to convince everyone that it works. Something like this is probably a novelty.
And as soon as Javokhir played, I was like thinking to myself, like, what is this? I mean, just actually like
So that's the reaction that he had for real. That what is this after Javokhir played castle? This is the punch that you get when you're out of prep in your games, like. And the how do you react to it is very important when you got surprised over the board. So I guess that we can say that Hikaru's reaction to it was not so good.
Actually kind of insane.
He says it's insane.
I mean, maybe you can say that over the board I should have some way to figure it out, but I think it's insane. It's impossible without knowing.
He says it's impossible. It was insane. And it's impossible without knowing to figure it out. That's, I guess, a little bit too much. We know that there are people like, I will say, like Vasip Durabali, a very strong grandmaster. He says, I've been seeing a lot of comments from chess fans about Nakamura blaming his team. Clearly, most of them don't understand the gravity of the mistake. The world of seconds has changed dramatically. In the past, mistakes came from checking so many lines with limited time, and if you did not leave the engine running long enough in certain position, it could give you a completely wrong evaluation. The most famous example is the Kramnik against Leko in the Marshall variation, that Kramnik team overlooked one line and Leko just crushed Kramnik after that game, and it was about to Kramnik losing the title. He just won the last game and came back to the event, but that was one of the most famous ones, and someone like Peter Swidler was involved in the team of Kramnik. But in this game, like Vasif is arguing that the move castle is very easy to find, and the team of Hikaru is to be blamed because of that. And you should find this and you should put it on the fuzz. I will completely agree to that. That's completely, I guess, valid point, and you should not. I will not criticize Hikaru for that for sure. But you know what I will see as a chess fan, just let's say that I expect from a 2800 is that when you face this opponent, you have the abilities to play a good game of chess still. And if you can't, of course it happens, then you made a mistake. You need to take the responsibility of that. Of course, first of all, we can see the teams, but it's a degree of responsibility for me. Like, there are players that can find the best moves. It's not that impossible. For me, it's not impossible. Like, I don't know, what do you think about it? For me, it's not impossible. That's all I have to say. And we know that Hans Niemann reacted to it also. Let's see what Hans says.
Crazy, but I mean, Hikaru, he was completely inactive.
It's about Hikaru being inactive and why he's expecting from himself to do the great thing. And he's also said in the Grenke chess, because it's Fischer random, he just said it like in a cunning way that here you cannot blame anyone because it's a Fischer random, so you cannot say that, okay, my seconds had the fault. And one very important thing to know that in this game, I was about to record this game, Hans Niemann just made this blunder. Like, he was 5 out of 5 in Grenke, playing against Vincent, a freestyle chess specialist, a very great player. And in this position, the position is almost equal after rook takes e8. A little bit better for black, but Hans just blundered with rook e1, because after knight f3, he just didn't saw this very simple tactic. If you take on f3, there is rook takes e1. If you take with the bishop, there is queen takes d3, and then rook takes e1. You're going to lose this game. My mouse is not working. Who's to blame? So in the game, Hans took here, and then we have king g2. But after that, Vincent just converted this position. Rook is much more stronger, and now we have rook takes d5 in this position because queen h1 is coming. So queen c7 check, and here, and I guess if you go here, there is rook e8, and black is going to win the game. So this is how Hans got crushed. And he says that Hikaru is not very active, and after that he also created some strange website. Let me just show you that also. Hans Niemann, he says, today is the best day to promote my new website, a very strange one. Forgive my pettiness. The 80 deformatory YouTube videos a 40-year-old made about me when I was 19 left a single grudge. He says that I was 19 and they were attacking me, so I will do so. He says, forgive me, I am allowed to troll after everything they put me through. So he was waiting for Hikaru to collapse, and then he's creating these kind of things. That's also something that's going on the chessboard. And let's at the end just analyze the game between Sindarov and Wei very quickly. It was a little bit messy video, but let's just watch the game. And you know what's stunning about this game, that Sindarov was out of prep after a3. And he reacted to it in a good way. I mean, the best way here was c6 and putting the bishop on e7. But Sindarov played bishop c5 and he got a playable position. And they asked him, is it easy to play without prep? And he says it depends on the position. And this kind of position you can play. It's not that if you don't know it, it's very hard to play. This position you can still find different setups. So he's honest, and he says that if you compare it to the game between Hikaru and Sindarov, we can say that that position was much more difficult than this one. And it's really, if you're you cannot be prepared for a3 in this position. Like, what is it? If I'm going to, should I be prepared for h3 also? Like, it's a little bit ought to be prepared for a3. So it's a different kind of position. But Sindarov played a very good game. And this is the incredible position that he got. Like in this position, Wei was mostly concentrated on rook takes a3. You can go and watch what they said about it. But Wei was very surprised by bishop g4. In the post-game interview, he said that because he thought that this position is great for white, because now I'm attacking the bishop and f6, but Sindarov just played bishop d4. And the most obvious move is to take this pawn with the threat of the queen, and it's the mistake, and it changed the course of the game. He should have played something like rook d1, and after rook g6, Eugene says white is better, but in humans' perspective, black is completely fine. What happened in the game is that after queen d7, black is trying some queen g4 business, and now, for example, if you put the rook on b1, then queen g4 and e4 is hanging, this is hanging, this bishop is out of the game, this bishop is a monster, and black is going to win this game. So Wei put the rook on d1 to go to d3 to if queen g4 comes, but queen e6, another great move. And here is probably the only moment that, two moments that Javokhir made a mistake. One of them is here, rook g6 was better, and after queen c4, Wei had a way to come back to the game, and it was to sacrifice an exchange. If you take with queen d4, there is rook d1, and here black has to play rook takes a3. If he goes queen c4, maybe white is even better right now. White has a very strong bishop on f6 dominating the whole position. And here you go rook d1, you're trying to take, and if you go c5, e5, and if you go here queen h5, e6 is coming, white has so many threats. So this was the dynamic way to respond, but Wei played it very slowly, and Javokhir improved. And he's playing very quickly. Look at his clock management. This shows his confidence. And this was the second moment that Javokhir made the inaccuracy, rook e8, which is very normal. He should have played bishop e5, winning the game. But after rook e8, Wei had a chance here to come back to the game by taking here and then playing rook f3, which is very hard to find because both of them saw this position and saw that after queen e2, black is completely winning. White has to exchange the queens, and after that g2 is hanging, black is going to win, but rook d8 saves white. And you cannot take on f2 because of rook takes e8. So here he should play something else, like, I don't know, like b6 or something, but then rook takes f4 and white is back into the game. So this was what Wei and Javokhir missed. And after rook takes d6, once again, he played a great game and he just crushed Wei in that game. 5.5 out of 6. 3,150 performance. Great game by Javokhir. What we expect from the last 8 rounds, because you know what's very funny, if there is 8 more rounds to go, and even if he just gets 4 points, he will be the winner of this event. Like by experience, if we say Gukesh won the candidates by 9 points, actually Carlsen won in 2012 by 8, so even 8 can win this tournament. But let's say 8.5, 9. 9 has very decent chances to at least go to tie breaks. So now he doesn't need to win games, but he wins game after game. That's very strange. That's it for this video. I hope that I was able to cover what's going on in the chess world. Please let me know how do you thought, what you think about these dramas and about the video also. And remember always to enjoy chess and